Hey,
Hey,
good evening, everyone, on this Monday
happy
night.
leap year.
Yes, happy leap year, last day of February. And oh my gosh, what an unbelievable month this has been
Hmm.
with the power of
The
one,
last two
power
weeks,
of two. I mean,
power three, power
incredible.
four.
Yes, power three and four. It was just an unbelievable week. So, congratulations to all of you who did the power of one, two, three, four, and more. It really was an incredible contest for sure. And all the things that you did, that we all did really over the
Mhm.
last little while, really has set the pace for our business over the next couple of months. I know it has for us,
Yeah,
and
the next 90 days.
yeah, and I
It's
know it has
amazing.
for a lot of other people. So, we have a special guest speaker on tonight that we're going to introduce in a moment. But I have to say, I've been out all day, and I just got in. I was at a mall. I had a few meetings, and I knew I had this call, and I was how far away was I? About an hour and a little bit
Yeah,
home, and there was bit of snow out there with some
70
uh,
kilometer winds.
70
Yeah.
kilometer an hour winds, and so I had to get home for this call, and I couldn't find where I parked my car, and this mall was just huge. So I was looking for the entrance, couldn't find it. So finally, I stopped at a cosmetic counter and I said to a woman, "Excuse me, but where's the shoe department?" Because that's where I parked, right near the shoe department, women's shoe department of all places. Convenient, isn't it, Kim? So
That's the best place. That's the best place to park, Judy.
So I asked her, I said, excuse me, where's the, shoe department? And she said, it's over there. And I said, oh my gosh. And I looked at the counter. I said, I'm at this particular cosmetic counter. And we started to chat. And I said, how long have you been here? And I thought, hey, before I leave, before I rush out, I had to have at least, my goal was to have one more person, another one before I left that mall, but I was running out of time. And I said to the woman, how long have you been here? She said, oh, about a year. I said, do you enjoy what you do? She said, yeah, I kind of do, but the money's pretty lousy. I said, what's your background? She said, I have a master's in marketing, and I've only been here a year. I'm from Pakistan. And she, beautiful woman, spoke so eloquently, and I thought, So I started telling her a little bit about, what we do. But I did say to her, I started off by saying, oh my gosh, we need to talk. And she said, well, oh, really? So I told her a little bit about what we do. I said, I said, I'm in a little bit of a rush. I have to get home. Give me your card. I'll give you mine. And I'm going to give you a call. She said, please don't forget. So there you go. So, you do your goals and you just make it happen. Even though you're running through the shoe department.
That's right.
And I did look at one shoe, Kim, not one.
So,
Oh, you've got restraint, Judy. You've got restraint.
so the key here is to get lost in department stores and
Yeah,
ask people for directions.
absolutely. To,
I just want a shout out to Demetrius, all the way
oh
from
my
Greece,
gosh,
3:30 in
absolutely.
the morning. Well, good for you to be on.
Oh,
Well
wow.
done.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would like to introduce our guest speaker
Well,
tonight. What?
not
What?
yet.
Not yet?
Not yet. We're going to end the month really quickly because there are some things that are still ongoing in this leap month of February.
Yes.
We have the Shoot for Sapphire, which ends tonight, as well as the dollar registration for the Canadian market that ends tonight, as well as the Power of One, which has just taken off and has
Oh
its
my
own
gosh,
set of
yes,
legs the last 2 weeks,
for sure.
ends tomorrow night, Tuesday at midnight. And of course, anyone that has added at least two people over the last 2 weeks with the Power of One will be invited to a special call with the GPG founders and the Inner Circle on a special Zoom Q&A. So we'll announce that shortly after we announce those individuals that have done a Power of 2 plus. So with that, it's our great pleasure to introduce our
Our
guest
guest
tonight.
speaker, and I want to give Kim an introduction. How we met Kim McIsaac many moons ago. I get a call. We're in another company, and Kim, I get this call from Kim, and she said, I really, I want to work with you, and I need. We didn't know Kim. She was many levels down in our other business, and she said, well, I really want to work with you. She said, I really, because I think between you, Kim, and ourselves, everyone was either inactive or just,
There was about 8 or 9.
yeah, about 8 or 9 people. And there's a story here. She was about 8 levels down or so. And she called and she said, I'd like to work with you. And she said, would you come out and work with me in Edmonton, Alberta? Now, for those of you that don't know Edmonton, Alberta, this was in the winter. and she wanted us to come out in January, and Edmonton has to be the coldest place I have ever experienced in my whole entire life. I almost lost my ears there one day because it's just so incredibly cold, and she wanted us to fly out in Edmonton in January. And I said, Kim, we'll come out and work with you if you get to, and it was a certain level, which I guess would be similar to Sapphire.
Yeah.
And so what we did is we worked, and we did three-way calls, and we Skyped in, and I'll tell you, she did it all on her own. She didn't have any other support there except us by telephone and Skype. And she was determined to make it a success. And she worked so hard. She did get to that level, and we did fly out. I think, Kim, didn't we fly out in February? It was even colder than January, I think. But we did fly out, and we flew out many times actually after that. And Kim became an amazing, incredible leader to her organization. And now we have it does continue. We have the pleasure of working together again here. And Kim actually is from Newfoundland. For those of you that don't know Newfoundland, look at the map of Canada. Go far east, skip across the ocean, and look for a little island called, actually a very large island called Newfoundland. And then she moved with her husband to Edmonton, Alberta. Now she and her husband, Nick, and her two beautiful children have moved and are making Australia, Perth, Australia, their home. And Ian and I are so proud of this amazing woman because she has an unbelievable work ethic. Her leadership skills, how she cares for her organization and her people really is just incredible. And someone once said to me, well, Judy, you've met your match. And I said, no. I said, this woman is, wow. She is wow. So, Kim, I want you to just click on your picture, come up big so everyone can see you. I want to introduce this amazing Ruby director,
part of the inner circle
within the Global Partners Group, and we're so incredibly proud of you doing what you're doing in Australia, going there with really not knowing anybody and building a fantastic team of amazing leaders, amazing people. So welcome to this call tonight.
Thank you, Judy and Ian. And I believe that I've achieved in this industry and in this business and in leadership because of both you and to many of the other leaders in the Global Partners Group. And really it's about doing what you're told, and I don't mean that to be flippant in any way, even though it might not make sense to you. And so, if you have working with people right now and they're telling you that this is what you need to do, you have to trust. And that's what I've always done, is that if Ian Murray tells me that I have to have an insane number, then I will strive for that. If Judy says I need to contact so many people in a day, then I will do it. And sometimes so much so that when I stick to a goal, or if someone tells me this is what I need to do to be successful, I will do that. And so I really thank you for all the mentorship and the guidance and the leadership, but most importantly the friendship that you have shown both myself and Nick over the last number of years. And I am truly blessed to be in your life, in your business, but also I'm truly blessed to be a part of the Global Partners Group and what that has, not just what it's done technically for our business, but the culture that we create. And so thank you so much. It's a pleasure for me to share today. And thank you for having me.
Well, listen, I know we have, we've become great friends with, very close. You're like family, and your husband Nick, and we have a lot of very funny stories that we, that we've shared and things that we've been through over the last few years, and so it's just been, you're such a joy in our life, for sure. So we just have a few things we want to talk about, Kim. So you have a great audience on this evening, and from all over the world. And we actually have someone in Greece who, what time is it now? About 3:30 in the morning. So actually it's your time zone. It's so funny because in the morning we'll be having a cup of coffee in the morning, and Kim is having another different type of a beverage. So, so Kim, we just have a few things we want to talk about, and Ian, why don't you start?
Yeah, well, Kim, here, you left Edmonton, you went to Perth, Australia, didn't know anyone. How did you start to find people?
Without knowing anybody.
Well, I'll start by saying that one of my greatest pet peeves in this business is when someone says they don't know anybody. And, for me, it is a pet peeve because I have moved here to Perth, and I knew a very small circle of people, Nick's family, my husband's family, and maybe some friends. But I just got out of my house. And everywhere you go, just as Judy said today, there's always combined with someone, and we've always taught to really authentically get to know people. I was on a Zoom, three-way Zoom last night with Ian, and that's what he talked about. If you love people, and I consider myself a solution provider. I'm a problem solver. I'm not a salesperson. I'm not a marketer. Yes, all those things are important. But at the end of the day, if we're going to build a big business, we need to get out there and meet people. And so during the course of your day, it's interesting. I had a situation last week where I dropped off some dry cleaning. And the lady was amazing. She's from Poland. She's a tailor and has been in Australia for a very long time, and I just dropped my dry cleaning off. And I don't go out with any expectation that I'm going to find people. I go out just to get to know people. And this woman was, I just asked a couple of key questions. How long have you been in Australia? She had quite a thick accent. She's an amazing seamstress, tailor. And I said, have you always lived in and why did you move? Well, I moved here because of my spouse, but the relationship didn't work out, and she is really in some financial stress and strain in her life. I wasn't being nosy, if you can use that word. I was just asking questions, and as I was doing that, genuinely, I didn't put a dollar sign on her forehead. Rather, what I said was, she's amazing. She has a huge network in Australia, a huge network in Europe, and I thought to myself, this business could be a solution for her. So I owe it to her to talk to her. But I didn't talk to her on that day. She gave me her business card with her own cell number so that I could, if I ever had any alterations that I needed done. But I just get out. It is like everywhere you go, you could go to the bank. I had a situation recently where I just brought in a lady from Indonesia, and my husband and I were there over the holidays, over New Year's, and I went with the intention that I would love to build a business in Indonesia. Where that's going to come from, it's like Lorraine talked about today on the Team Talk. When you put it out there and you believe that good things are going to come into your business, then you go with an open heart and an open mind. And I really believe in the law of attraction. And so when I went to Indonesia, I went with an open mind that I would love to build there, but I do understand that I need to connect with someone local in order to make that happen. But Nick and I always have our Jeunesse hat on, and so he had his Jeunesse hat on, and he ended up speaking to a sales lady at a timeshare. No, we didn't buy a timeshare in Indonesia, but we were in that situation, and this lady happens to be an amazing woman who was she's a stunt woman in the Australian film industry. And when the GFC, the global financial crisis happened, things happened for her. Things fell apart. And she was looking. And she didn't even know that I was going to call her. But my husband got her number, and I just called her out of the blue, a cold call, and just said, this could be a shot in the dark, but speaks very highly of you, and I'm expanding into Indonesia. And she did come into the. So my point, to answer your question, Judy, people are everywhere, and if you just get out of your comfort zone, take the pressure off of yourself to really just meet people, and that's what I did. I have a team here I have a couple of sapphires here and numerous pearls. My business is in China, it's in Malaysia, it's in Singapore, it's now in Indonesia, it's in New Zealand, it's in South Africa, and that's all because I just got out there and met people, not because I knew them. So it makes no difference how many people you know, it's really how many people you're willing to get out there and meet genuinely.
Yeah, now you mentioned on the call that we had earlier this morning with your team that how important the DMO part of Gomentum. So maybe you could just talk about how Gomentum has helped your business, as well as the daily method of operation that just keeps people on track.
You know what? One of the biggest things, the biggest problems that I see as a leader when we bring brand new people into the business is they don't employ themselves. And if you get a networker that you recruit into the business or enroll into the business, that's different. They understand it. Entrepreneurs, yes, they understand it. But if you have the average person who's never built a business, they don't know how to employ themselves. And that has always been the issue, I believe, with people who don't succeed the way they want to or don't succeed at all in the industry. So, for example, you have a situation where you come into the business, you have so many other things going on in your life, and the business happens because you have time at the end of your day. The daily method of operation with Gomentum forces us to set it as a priority in our day. So what I say to my team is that if you believe that this is the vehicle for you, it's the chosen vehicle, and you do want results, in order for your car to run, you need to put gas in the tank. So in order for this business to build, you need to give it time. And it has to be an equal priority to your job. Yeah. And people look at me very strange. And it doesn't mean that you give it equal time, but you have to give your business respect. So if it's something that's at the bottom of your list, if you get to it, it will never pay you back. So the daily method of operation is your to-do list. It is your essential functions of this particular priority in your life. And it has to be done every day. So if you work 12 hours a day at your job and you want to get out of your job, but at the end of the day you give this business nothing, then you will never get out of that job because you've given nothing to something you say is a priority. So for example, I did a three-way call last week with someone and they asked me what I need to do, and this is what I told them. Daily method of operation, you need to be on Gomentum, do your daily method of operation to build your business, build your team, build yourself, and you need to attend events. So I gave her a list of things to do, and we had an event the very next day. She didn't show up, and I know why she didn't show up, because she didn't give it a priority, and she was very tired at the end of the day. But with your DMO, and if you follow every single day, now I said this to Ian the other day, if you fall short and you were supposed to, if you're DMO and you were supposed to talk to 3 people and you only spoke to 2, well, you know what, that's life. But it's better than speaking to no one. And so the DMO is so critical for many of us on the line. We don't have a question, we don't have maybe a problem employing ourselves, but it is the DMO that will allow us to give something concrete to our team, will show them that that's what they need to do every single day. So along with, okay, I have to work 8 hours today in my job, I have to take the kids to ballet, I have to cook dinner, I have to go to a parent-teacher meeting, but I also have to do my daily method of operation. I have to add at least 1 person to my list. I have to talk to 3 new people today. I have to expose 3 new people today to the business, which can literally be 5 minutes if you're using JMobile. So it doesn't have to be a big deal. You have to follow up with 2 people in your pipeline. You have to check in with a member of your team, 1 person. I mean, I check in with dozens, sometimes a dozen people in a day, along with the other things. Now, I'm doing it full time. The daily method of operation is designed for someone who's building the business part-time to achieve some significant goals in your business. If you do 3 people a day and you do it every day of the week, that's 20 new 21 new exposures in your business, 21 new people going into your pipeline every single week. You can build a business that way. So it is about employing yourself, which is so important. And that for me is good. It's changed the face of people's businesses. It's why people are doing Power of One. So, and they're registering 2, 3, 4, 5 people in a week.
And you know, Kim, you say you do this full time, but you have 2 young children, and I know how busy you are driving your children around, you know, for whatever ballet or whatever they're involved in. So I mean, you know, you work this around your family, but you still give it full-time effort, and you have your goals, and you are focused. I mean, really focused on meeting those goals every single day. And really, that's, you know, it's all about focus. And we talked this morning on our leadership call about that Alex Morton video. And for those of you that are on this, that are listening to us tonight and have not heard the Alex Morton,
We sent it through Momentum.
Did we do it already?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we sent it through GoMentum. It's unbelievable. And Alex Morton, he's 26 years old. I think at the age of 25, he's a double diamond here. It's a generic, it's a very short video, but he's 26 and he's a double diamond. His work ethic is like yours, Kim. It's unbelievable. And he is so incredibly focused. And I love that, you know, what you focus on expands. And, you know, here you take Demetrius, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, from Greece.
Sapphire this month.
He said he promises he's going to be Sapphire this month.
But he's here at 3:30
I mean, he's on this call at 3:30 in the morning his time. I mean, what time is it there, Kim? You're early in the morning.
13 hours ahead.
You're 13 hours ahead. So I know sometimes, you know, in the morning when we have our leadership calls and they go on for a little longer, it's pretty late for you too. But that's the price you pay, and that's called employing yourself and working for you. So, you know, some other people would complain that there's a call at 3:30 in the morning, or they'd complain that, oh my gosh, it's 11 o'clock at night, it's past my bedtime. But you do what you have to do for a couple of years. You'll be able to do whatever you want to for the rest of your life. You know, I love that. And I know that this is the year, you know, we're a $1 billion brand. Jeunesse is a $1 billion brand. And this year, they're targeting $2 billion. Unbelievable. So, I mean, we all want to be part of that. And, you know, we're just so proud of you, Kim. I mean, it's just been watching you grow and watching your team grow and watching you, you know, work with your people to help develop them into incredible leaders has been just, I mean, it's been amazing in watching you from across the pond, really. And, but it's great. And I just want to let people know, you know, no matter where you live, you know, Skype, Zoom is a fantastic, also a fantastic platform to do your business. So I met with someone early this evening, and they said to me, well, I have people, you know, in different countries. How do I do that? And I'll say Zoom or Google Hangout. You know, it's like being in your living room. With technology today, there's no reason why, you know, we can't build this business internationally for sure. So, anyone?
Yeah, Kim, as you know, because we're coming up to 9 o'clock here, and I want you to spend a little bit of time on. We're going into the month of March, and March has like 5 weeks, big
Long month,
and we have April and we have May, and these are critical months in the next 90 days. So, you know, what would you sort of wisdom coming into this time of year, knowing what we do what's happening with Jeunesse, especially the month of March, April, and May. How are you driving your team towards their goals?
Well, for us here in Australia, we're very fortunate. So if I'm thinking about the Australian, it would still apply to any of our teams around the world. So any of my team in Canada, our team in Canada. But when we talk about the Step Up to Success promo here, so, you know, we had the Pearl promo for February. So if people were running for Pearl but they fell short, we start again March 1st, and now we're looking at the same as you said on the team talk today. You're looking at 5 weeks in March. What do you want to accomplish in March, and work backwards? And so, you know, I'm going to have people looking at, so if they want to be Sapphire and earn the 6K bonus by the end of March, you need 15,000 personal group volume. And how much do you have now? Subtract it from what's needed, and then look at how much personal group volume do you need on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and then drive towards that. And that is a strategy that Ian Master, who master at building, you have to have a plan. Okay, you have to have a plan, and you also have to work out a plan with your team, because you can't assume that people are going to know. And so you have to get down there and figure out, first of all, who is employing themselves. Those are the only people you work with. The people who are on Momentum, and the people who are doing the daily method of operation, and the people who are willing halfway. You can't, I heard a saying, you can't push a rope, and I don't know if that came from you, Judy, but you can't push someone who's not willing to run. So you have to first identify who's running with you, and then with those people, making sure that they are able to tell you what their clear goals are and that they know how to get there. And moving because the Step Up to Success, for example, here in Australia is not really about the Step Up to Success. Yes, the $9,000 bonus at the end of April is going to be fantastic for Sapphire Elite. But, excuse me, what that does is sets people up for the momentum that Jeunesse is going to experience over the next year. So we all want a piece of the pie. We all want a piece of the pie. We can't wait. Procrastination pays really poorly. It's a wage with procrastination.
I love that.
For that title, you are not going to be able to buy many pairs of shoes. And if, for those people who know me, that shoes are, you know, it's not more important than my husband and my kids, but you talk about priorities, it's really up there. But I'm being facetious, but I really do like shoes. So you want to make sure that you are planning from the beginning, and you need to have that clear plan in place. And you want to make sure that you are checking in with people on a regular basis. But that personal group volume, making sure you have your, like if you're going to lead, making sure that you have the lines of sponsorship represented there when you're going to the events. It's not just, okay, well, I'm just going to go. You really have to think about where you're going and how you're going to get there. And so we all know that to go Ruby, if you're shooting for Ruby, you need two sapphires. So you always want to make sure you have at least 3, 4, 5, 6 lines of sponsorship present at any small event you're doing, a big event you're doing, because that's important, and that's making sure that your head is in your business. There's sometimes the thought that if you throw enough at the wall, something will stick. So something might stick, but it may not stick for very long. So you really have to be listen when Ian posts those team talks around strategy. You want to hang on his every word, and you want to make sure as a leader that you are teaching it to your team. They may not understand it as well as you do, but they just need to have a goal. So how much personal group volume do I need this week, and where is it going to come from? Maybe do an exercise with them. Ian did this with me recently in previous businesses. He would say to me, okay, if you're going to cycle 3 times a day, where's that going to come from? How can you cycle? You're not going to buy all the product, but where will it come from? So Ian, I think having a clear strategy and a goal and understanding that and making sure you plug into someone who knows how they can help you set that is really key, not just for the next 30 to 60 to 90 days, but this year is going to be a game changer in many people's lives if they don't procrastinate and start right now.
That's right. Absolutely. And we just want, first of all, we just want to thank you so much for being on the call tonight with us, Kim. You're just such a pleasure, and you're just such a joy to work with. And we're so incredibly proud of you. We miss you being across the pond, but thank goodness we have Zoom and Google like this so we can see your face and Viber and talk. So we just want to really thank everyone for being on the call tonight. And you know, just this is your year, guys. This is your future. So don't take a moment for granted. You know, like Kim said, you know, learn to employ yourself, engage in your business, and it'll happen. So, Kim, thank you so very much for being with us tonight. We really appreciate you taking time out of your day. And we just want to say to everyone, go out and make it a great week and make every single day count. And thank you, Demetria, for being on the line at 3:30 in the morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.